Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And thank each and every one of you again for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. You know how much I truly, truly appreciate it. And look, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes, last week we had a little issue with the microphone. Told you that microphone does not like to travel. It does not like the cold, not at all. And it decided I'm done. I'm totally done. We've done 102 shows. I'm done. Put me to pasture. Put a glass case around me and a sign that says first 100 shows or something. That microphone is dead. So we're dealing with a new mic today. So can you hear me now? If you can hear me, drop me a little line that says, hey, yep, I can hear you loud and clear. Drop me a line. You can text me at 312-600-5855. Let me know what the sound quality sounds like. Or, of course, you can always email me, 800@creditscoreman.com. That's 800@creditscoreman.com. So once again, thanks for coming in. It is Saturday, y'all. It's 1:30 Central Standard Time. We're on every Saturday, 1:30 Central, 2:30 on the East Coast, and that means it's 11:30 a.m. on the West Coast. Welcome in, everybody. All right, so today we're going to talk about several things today. So it's around that time. Black Friday is coming up. The holidays are coming up. A lot of spending and whatnot are going on. I'm going to reiterate to you guys what I usually say around this time of the year for you to be safe with your credit, protect yourself, protect your credit, and protect your credit score. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Since last week's show didn't have the quality of sound that I typically have, I'm going to do a little recap just in case you missed anything. I'm going to do a little recap on UltraFICO. So that show was WTH is UltraFICO. So we're going to do a little recap, just the highlights on what those are. And then we're going to give you a few little safety tips. And we got a really good question of the day that comes from Brenda out of Indiana. We're going to really, really good question of the day. It's a little lengthy, so we're going to get to that as well today. Let me do some shout outs right quick. So you know how I like to do. I like to shout out the youngest among us, right? So I'm going to shout out Jack Donaldson the fifth. Yes, the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth. Yes, Jack Donaldson. Happy birthday to you. He turned 8 years old earlier this week. So happy birthday to you, Jack. I got to give a shout out to Stacy Frierson. She celebrated a birthday as well, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Charles Blair, my man Charles Blair, celebrated a birthday as well. So happy birthday to you, Charles. And Vincent Ramirez all celebrated birthdays this week. So happy birthday to each and every one of you guys. Happy birthday. I hope you truly enjoyed it. So let me hit some of these highlights real quick from last week's show. So from last week's show, talking about UltraFICO. First of all, it's coming really soon in early 2019. They didn't say when, but I'm going to predict it's going to be in the first quarter. So it might not be January, could be February, but UltraFICO is coming. And what is the UltraFICO? UltraFICO is being billed as a boost to your credit score. Hopefully, for most of us and most of you guys out there, there's going to be a boost to your credit score, potentially up to 40 points on your credit score. It could boost your credit score. So here's some of the highlights from it. You're going to be using your bank accounts, or FICO is going to be using your bank accounts to boost your credit score or potentially bring your credit score down. But they'll be making that as one of the factors that they'll be using in this particular UltraFICO score that you'll have. So they're going to be using checking accounts, savings accounts, as well as money market accounts. What's being said now is that you're going to need $400 as a, say, balance, or your lowest balance being held in your account for it to really give you the boost that they're looking to give you in your credit scores. So you're going to need that. You're going to need it over 90 days. They're going to go back looking at 90 days. So anybody that has overdrafts or they fall into the negative or anything of that nature, that's going to be hurtful to your UltraFICO score. Not going to impact your other scores. If it's not UltraFICO, it's just your regular FICO or your regular Vantage score, that banking information is not going to hurt you. It's not going to hamper you at all. But with UltraFICO, it will. It's only going to be rolled out on Experian at this point. So who knows if TransUnion or Equifax is going to pick this up, but it's only going to be on your Experian UltraFICO score. You still should have an Experian regular FICO score, but it's going to be on Experian. It's volunteer. So you can volunteer to add this information. So if you're a person that, you live paycheck to paycheck, when your next paycheck comes, you've already floated a check. You know what you're doing. You've never gone in a negative or what have you, but your bank account is down to, you got $20 left. Then this is not something for you to volunteer for. If you always got some money in the bank, whichever account you want to give them, whether it's your checking or savings or your money market account, whichever one you want to give them, you've always got $400 in there. You don't do overdrafts. You're never in the negative. You don't bounce any checks. Bouncing checks is going to be bad for you as well. Then this is going to be something you might want to sign up for with the UltraFICO. So it's totally volunteer. My question with all of this is, where do I get my UltraFICO score from? I haven't heard anything from the news or any articles that I've read where I can get that UltraFICO score from when it comes out. Right now, I can go to Experian.com and I can pay for my FICO score if I want to. Or I can go to myfico.com and get a FICO score. Of course, the other things are Vantage scores if you're using like a Credit Sesame or Credit Check Total or somebody like that. But where do I get my UltraFICO score from? Another question I have, what companies are really going to be using this? So are car companies going to be using it, and furniture companies and jewelry store places that you go and, apply for credit, those places? With mortgage places, you be using it. I'm going to assume that mortgage lenders will absolutely use this. I mean, they're always trying to get you, if you're close to not qualifying or you're on the lower rung, they're trying to help you out so they can close this mortgage for you. So I'm going to assume that they will absolutely use it, but maybe all of them won't. So that's the question I have about, since when you apply for a mortgage, typically they're going to pull all three credit bureaus on you. So when they usually do that, they may take the average of the three, or they may take the one that's in the middle, or they take the score that you have that's on the lower rung, your lowest score, and that's how they figure out your interest rate. How are mortgage companies going to base my interest rate using UltraFICO? Will they just take the UltraFICO? So now will they no longer pull Equifax or TransUnion? Will they only be pulling the UltraFICO, because that's going to be the determining factor on what my credit score is based on that? So I got those questions in mind and what's going on. I'm sure that in the coming months, in the coming weeks, we will figure out how this is really going to impact everybody when it comes to the UltraFICO. So in light of the new score that's coming out, listen to me now and hear me later. In light of the new score that's coming out, if you use a service that does not give you your Experian score or your Experian credit report, get your credit report now. Go get it now. Of course, you can go to Experian and get it, www.experian.com. Might cost you a couple bucks to get it. Or if you haven't used the free service that is allowed to us by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, go to www.annualcreditreport.com. Excuse me. Go to www.annualcreditreport.com and get your Experian report. If you filed a dispute with TransUnion and or Equifax, but you didn't do one with Experian because it doesn't show up on your Credit Karma or wherever you get it, then you need to get that report and you need to file those disputes. You need to clean up Experian right now, especially if you plan on going with this UltraFICO and signing up for it so you can get that boost. They're saying you could get 40 points. So you already know if you're sitting at a 680 and, that's, you're sitting at a 680 and you get 40 points, it's going to shoot you to 720, which is going to put you in the good range. So you move from fair to good. That's going to be really good for your interest rates no matter what you buy, unless you're going to get a credit card from a big box store or something of that nature. They don't really care. As long as they get you approved, they're not helping you out saying, okay, we'll give you a 15% rate versus everybody else having a 22% rate. it just doesn't work that way. But when it comes to the major purchases, like a home or a car or something of that nature, it can make a big difference. So save yourself some money, do some pre-work, get it done before you actually need it. Get it done. All right, so that's the recap from last week for the most part. I want to hit vets. So last week, it was Veterans Day on the 11th. So last week, I talked a little bit about the vets and about how it works for them with mortgages and things of that nature. I put out a call to you, all the vets, saying, hey, give me a call if you have any questions at all. Call your bank or whatnot. I didn't receive one call from one vet asking about it. Now, maybe vets just not listening to the show. If you have a friend or a family member that is a veteran, send them last week's show. So however you listen to the show, I'm sure there's a share button somewhere. Some of you guys don't want to share the show because you think that whoever you share it with is going to think you have a bad credit score, and that's why you listen to the show. I'm going to tell you right now, people with really good credit scores listen to this show as well. They want to maintain their credit scores. They want to know this system, so they listen to the show as well. You could be one of those people. Pass it on to your friends and family each and every week. Pass it on to your friends and family. So when it comes to vets, though, you can pass this on to vets, even if you're still skittish about sending it on to people. Pass on to vets saying, hey, I was listening to this show. This guy was talking about vets and mortgages and your credit. You should take a listen to this show, and I'm going to extend that call. Call me if you are a veteran and you want to know what direction you need to go in to help you with your score or to get a mortgage, anything of that nature. So call me, 312-600-5855. Do that, and I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. All right. So let's jump into the show. Let's jump into the show for real now. So it's Black Friday time, right? So a lot of people out there getting the Black Friday on. Saturday is going to be Small Business Saturday, and then Monday is Cyber Monday. So people are going to be out there whipping out those credit cards, whipping out your debit cards and things of that nature. So we got to talk about how is that going to impact your credit. First of all, only apply for credit if you absolutely need it. I say this every year. I get tempted myself. I was just in the store last night. They were already talking about on the microphone, get 35% off if you fill out the card to get the card for that particular store. So they're already ramping it up as it is. Only apply for credit if you absolutely need it. If you're only going to the store because you saw the Black Friday sale, you're never going to go back to the store, or it's not one of your regular haunts, don't fill out that card. Don't get that card. Not if you don't really, really need it. So if they're going to give you $5 off, 35% off, like I said, think about it first before you do it, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to fill out the card. Whether you get it or not, it's going to hurt your credit score, right? Because you're going to have an inquiry. So it can drop between 2 and 10 points, most likely for a credit card in a big box store. When I say big box, I'm thinking of places like Target and JCPenney's, Sears, if they're going to still be around. Some of them have already closed. Places like that. So if that happens to you, so just make sure you only apply for credit when you absolutely need it. It's also time, if you follow me at all, I tell you guys about checking your official credit report. And I just say it's official, but check your official credit report. I just mentioned it, www.annualcreditreport.com. If you follow me at all and you listen to how I choose to do it, then it's that time again. So I'll be pulling one of my credit reports from www.annualcreditreport.com this week just to take a look at it prior to Black Friday, prior to any other shopping that I plan to do. And when I'm doing that, first of all, here's the strategy that I use. You get to get one of the 3 credit bureaus every 12 months on a rolling basis. So it doesn't run January to December. Whenever you pull it, then 12 months later, you get to pull it again. So there's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian where you can do this on. So what I do is I spread them out. I just spread them out. Even though I have everything you can think of, Credit Karma and Credit Sesame and Credit Check Total and all that stuff, I pull those every year. It's afforded to me by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? So I pull one at one specific time of the year, and then another at a different time, and another at a third time. So what I do is I always pull one right before this Thanksgiving holiday. I always pull one then, and then I'll pull one after the holiday season. So I might pull it in January, or I might pull one in February, just to check, make sure, protect myself, see if anything's on there that is in